All right, it has taken just a little over a year since the Trump administration abandoned the JCPOA for Tehran itself to challenge the agreement by intentionally breaching the allowed amount of low-enriched uranium it can hold. However, Tehran insists it's not seeking to overturn the nuclear deal itself. It just wants to be treated fairly under its terms. So for more on this, let's turn now to former Pentagon official Mike Maloof. So Mike, Iran saying enough is enough. It has stuck by its side of the bargain, but obviously Americans walked away from the deal. They have reimposed sanctions. They're trying to make life as difficult as possible for anybody to even trade with Tehran. How is this policy of maximum pressure by the Trump administration, how's that working out?
Well, it's quickly driving Iran into a corner where it's going to feel that its very survival could be jeopardized. That is like having a caged animal being threatened, and you will have a reaction, a violent reaction as a consequence. It's ratcheting up. Iran, for its part, is ratcheting up a little bit, but it's still within conformity of its agreement. But you got to ask yourself the question: if Trump administration bowed out, what compelling reason does Iran have to continue its side of the agreement? It still can do enrichment if it wants. It can still produce it. In fact, they're going to be building more reactors. The question then will be, to what extent will they actually enrich? They can up to 20%. It's enrichment. It's for medical purposes.
Okay.
They don't have right now. They don't have the centrifuges to go beyond that, to make it even more pure, up to the weapons grade of 90% plus, which is what is of concern. Under the agreement, Iran actually destroyed its current centrifuges. It would have to rebuild them. And they could do it soon, but not soon enough.
Right.
In terms of, but the question then is, if Iran is in compliance, but the U.S. was not, then it's questionable as to why Iran continues to be threatened like this.
So, Mike, the U.K., along with France, Germany, China, and Russia, they're still a part of this existing, whatever's left of the JCPOA. They say they're urgently considering next steps. What does that mean? What are next steps?
Well, they could. It's still in effect. I mean, and the Europeans are still trying to conform to it. They're working out this INSTEX alternative financial system, which does not include oil, by the way. It'll include other things where they can get off the dollar, off the SWIFT system. Now, what could they do if they wanted to penalize? If they decided that Iran decided they had broken off the agreement, they're obliged then to kick in their own sanctions, and they don't want to do that. Right. That's very clear, and it really wouldn't benefit in the spirit of world peace for that to happen, because if you back Iran into a corner where they can't survive as a country, the backlash. This is what we also feared with North Korea.
Right. I was just going to say that you talked about the North Korea being isolated.
And I think when Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, went to G20 and spoke to Trump, I think he probably said, "Look, lay off of back off a little bit, and for the Europeans to not implement sanctions, give Iran some breathing room, otherwise the reaction could be violent." So,
is Iran's their own pressure tactic, whether it's a soft push or not? I guess that's for other people to decide. But is their push intended to move the Europeans in a particular way?
Yes. They want the Europeans to implement INSTEX and include oil. That's basically what they want to do. And they don't want them to implement sanctions. So that's why Iran has basically maintained compliance. Now, you hear Israel talk about, well, they're enriching and all of a sudden and this is tantamount to war. Well, they're not quite there. They have, under the rules, they can still do a certain amount, but once again, you have Israel trying to instigate. And when Huddy talked about the attack, I interpret it as a provocation to sort of get that crescendo, because the word is out, and there's concern now that Netanyahu may in fact precipitate a conflict and just drag the U.S. in because we have a strategic commitment to protect it.
So Israel, along with Saudi Arabia, dragging the U.S. into this conflict.
Just dragging it in, even though Trump doesn't want it. And you can thank John Bolton for getting this arrangement all set up, which sets Trump up for failure as far as I'm concerned, because he will be left with no choice, and there's no control over Netanyahu. He'll do whatever he wants and just drag us in. That's what I'm really concerned about.
So you're hoping the president doesn't take the bait. So
correct.
We'll see.
And he listens to Putin and to the Chinese. Chinese have also said, by the way, the Chinese have been threatened with sanctions because they're continuing to receive the oil. They basically told them, have a good day.
We're going to keep doing our business. You mind yours.
Sanction us some more? Are you kidding?
All right, as always, appreciate your expertise. Michael Maloof, thank you.
Sure.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.